So picture this. It's 7:30 in the evening, Moscow time, September 21st, 2025. And Putin's got this absolutely gorgeous guest house in Crimea, where all the Russian elite are having their fancy little gathering. Well, guess what? In exactly 43 seconds, Ukraine's about to turn all their wild war fantasies into literal rubble sitting on their conference table. Meanwhile, way out there in the Black Sea, there's this 16-foot ghost cutting through the waves like nobody's business. We're talking about the Magura V5, which is basically Ukraine's answer to, how do we make a drone boat that's scarier than a shark? This thing's got a fiberglass hull that just slips through water like it owns the place. And radar? Forget about it. This baby's practically invisible. Now here's where it gets really juicy. Tucked inside this beast are 6 Osa FPV drones, and let me tell you, these aren't your neighbor's hobby drones. Think of them as 13-inch guided missiles, each one packing a 1.5-pound shaped charge that's basically designed to turn explosive force into this superheated metal jet that moves so fast it'll punch through concrete and steel like they're made of tissue paper. So the Magura, that's what they're calling this whole operation, is closing in on its target, which happens to be the Foros Sanatorium. And oh honey, this isn't just any old health spa. This is the private playground where Russia's war criminals go to kick back and relax, sitting right next to 4 state-owned dachas where the FSB literally sits around drawing up their next wave of secret plans like some kind of evil book club. Taking this place out isn't just about embarrassing Putin, though that's definitely a bonus. This is about literally ripping the eyes out of their war machine and making sure Ukraine's vital grain corridor stays secure. So at 1931 local time, about 3 miles from the coast, the Magura slows down to barely moving. The bay doors open up, and one by one, 6 silent shapes just slip into the Black Sea like deadly little fish. The mothership gives them a final 10-second laser guidance lock, kind of like a goodbye kiss, then just melts back into the shadows, leaving the whole mission in the hands of its children. The 6 OSA drones immediately kick into what Ukraine's HUR intelligence service calls the ghost chain tactic. And let me tell you, this is some next-level genius stuff. These things accelerate instantly, hitting 60 miles per hour while skimming the surface so low they're practically tasting salt spray. But here's the kicker. They're not flying in some straight, stupid line like sitting ducks. The lead drone suddenly spits out this cloud of what looks like metallic dust, but it's actually 500 strips of aluminum chaff. To any Russian radar operator watching, this cloud is an absolute nightmare. Like a blizzard of hundreds of false targets, the perfect decoy that'll make you want to throw your headset across the room. The other 5 drones tuck in directly behind this wall of electronic noise, hugging the base of the Foros cliffs and flying in the radar shadow of the rock itself. When they need to clear a Russian patrol boat ahead, they pop up for exactly 2.7 seconds, exposing themselves for just 12 feet before vanishing back into the darkness like they were never there. At 1932 local time, Mother Nature decides to join the fight. A brutal 20-knot wind gust slams into the swarm, and it hits drone number 3 the hardest, the one with the corroded antenna, because of course it does. Suddenly, that 2.3-degree targeting error isn't just some future problem to worry about, it's a flight stability nightmare happening right now. The drone is bucking like a wild horse while its AI is struggling to compensate, and hundreds of miles away in a concrete bunker deep beneath Odessa, there's this operator watching his screen flicker. His hands are slick with sweat as he fights the controls, trying to manually tame a 13-inch machine that's getting battered by a storm, all while flying blind behind a wall of chaff. The entire mission is literally balancing on his fingertips right now. On the shoreline, there's this Russian Spetsnaz operator sweeping the cliffs with a $10,000 thermoscope, looking for any flicker of heat, any ghost in the dark. It's just boring routine patrol stuff until suddenly it isn't. At 1927 local time, his scope lights up like Christmas morning. Hot signature moving fast. Definitely a target. He raises his specialized drone gun, which is basically a weapon that fires focused electromagnetic energy beams. Miles out, the decoy drone's electronics get fried instantly, erupting in a shower of sparks before plunging into the sea. Success! As he's radioing in his victory, feeling all proud of himself, he has absolutely no idea that the real swarm, the 5 invisible assassins from the Magura V5 6 Osa FPV drones, are slithering past him in the darkness below the cliff line. Poor guy just won a battle against a ghost, but his radio call is about to wake up the real monsters. 30 seconds later, the radar screen at a Panzer S-1 battery near Yalta lights up like the 4th of July. The operators don't see 5 small drones. They see exactly what the chaff cloud was designed to show them: one single massive signature moving at 60 miles per hour. The system's computer screams one word: enemy. Command is given, and a $20 million air defense system locks onto what's basically a cloud of aluminum foil. A multi-million-dollar surface-to-air missile ignites, accelerating to Mach 3 in seconds, racing to intercept what it thinks is a threat. In the bunker in Odessa, the Ukrainian operator watches the missile track on his screen and actually smirks. "Go ahead," he mutters. "Waste your money." The missile impacts the cloud with devastating force, vaporizing the aluminum strips in a flash of light, and the Russians think they just scored a direct hit. In reality, they just punched a very expensive hole in the air. They literally just declared war on a shadow. While all eyes are on this phantom, the Magura V5, now 10 miles offshore, plays its final card by broadcasting a fake electronic signature that mimics a much larger vessel. On the screen of a Russian patrol boat, a shiny new priority target has just appeared, drawing them further out to sea and clearing the final path for the swarm. The trap has been absolutely perfectly set. At 1928 local time, sirens across Sevastopol scream to life, and from an airfield just miles away, an Su-30 fighter jet rockets into the sky with afterburners literally tearing a hole in the night. This thing is a Mach 1.9 beast, a $50 million predator built for one purpose: to kill anything that flies. So how can a handful of plywood drones possibly survive? By refusing to play its game, that's how. The swarm executes its next command and splits apart. 2 drones drop even lower, becoming nearly invisible in the sea clutter, while the other 3 climb to 200 feet. Suddenly, the Russian pilot isn't hunting one target anymore. He's trying to solve an impossible geometry problem with threats at multiple altitudes, all maneuvering towards a no-fire zone that's dangerously close to supposedly civilian Dakas. He can't engage them all. Frustrated, the Russians unleash their digital hammer. A 5-mile-wide blanket of electronic warfare descends like an invisible hurricane of radio energy powerful enough to deafen any machine. The operators in Odessa watch their control links fill with static, and for a moment the drones are completely on their own. But here's the beautiful part. The OSA's AI simply ignores it, like a teenager putting on noise-canceling headphones to tune out their parents. The system doesn't need GPS anymore. Its internal gyroscopes feel every turn, every dip, every acceleration. It's navigating by pure instinct now with 98% accuracy. You can jam the sky all you want, but you can't jam the laws of physics. Millions of dollars worth of ammunition at the sky, hunting for the last 4 drones. It seems like a losing fight for the swarm until Ukraine plays its absolute ace in the hole. At 1929 local time, one of the OSA drones completely changes its electronic signature. It stops looking like a threat and instead starts screaming the IFF identification code of a civilian passenger plane, with its flight path now seemingly on a collision course with a local school. It's a bluff, pure digital genius, and it puts the Russian commanders in the most impossible position imaginable. Do they fire and risk an international incident by shooting down a passenger plane over a school, or do they hesitate? That hesitation is all Ukraine needs. The initial blast sends a wave of debris into the building's main kitchen, severing gas lines, and a secondary explosion erupts. A massive fireball that blows the entire western wall of the sanatorium into the Black Sea. Another warhead finds the VIP garage, turning a $750,000 armored Mercedes into a 100-foot column of fire that you can probably see from space. The final warhead strikes the special event hall dead center, turning the secret meeting table and all the war plans on it to ash. The resulting electromagnetic pulse from the blasts fries the local radar systems, leaving a massive section of the Crimean coast completely blind. As dawn breaks over the Black Sea, it reveals the full picture of what just happened. The $50 million sanatorium is a smoking ruin, a jagged scar on what used to be a beautiful coastline. Russia's secret war plans, completely disrupted. Their Black Sea fleet, forced to pull back, widening the safe corridor for Ukraine's grain exports by 20%. The final shot is a slow zoom in on that Ukrainian operator in his bunker in Odessa, watching the satellite feed of the destruction with a small, determined smile crossing his face. You know what they say, the oldest lesson is always the truest. The biggest wolf can be brought down by the smallest arrow if the aim is true. Ukraine's ghost chain, born from the front lines of this brutal war, literally turned the sea itself into a weapon against the Russian Empire, which, when you really think about it, is just a sandcastle waiting for the tide. So, what do you think? Was this swarm pure genius, or something even more incredible? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Military Investigation for more stories from the front lines where ingenuity truly is the ultimate weapon.